Here's why you play Uranus, the ethereal defender in the EXP lane. First off, he possesses insane sustainability, allowing him to absorb damage and outlast opponents in fights. He has highly effective regeneration thanks to his passive, which makes him incredibly difficult to kill. Uranus also has strong mobility for a tanky hero, making it easier for him to engage and escape fights. However, he has high mana consumption, requiring him to manage his resources carefully. Additionally, Uranus lacks hardcore control, meaning he cannot easily lock down enemies. Uranus's passive, Radiance, absorbs energy from incoming attacks, regenerating HP every 0.8 seconds. Each stack lasts for a few seconds, and when at maximum stacks, his HP regeneration becomes significantly stronger. This passive makes Uranus extremely difficult to kill in prolonged fights, as he constantly heals while taking damage. Uranus's first skill, Ionic Edge, releases two energy blades that orbit around him, dealing magic damage to enemies and slowing them down. Each time this skill deals damage, it marks the enemy, increasing the damage of future hits. The more stacks an enemy has, the more damage they take. This skill is Uranus's primary source of sustained damage, allowing him to continuously harass enemies in lane. Uranus's second skill, Transcendent Ward, dashes to a target location, dealing magic damage along the way and target location. This skill also slows enemies and grants Uranus a shield. When the shield expires or is destroyed, it explodes, dealing additional magic damage. This skill is essential for engaging, escaping, and sustaining fights. Uranus's ultimate, Consecration, releases stored energy, removing slow effects, recovering HP, and gaining a massive boost in movement speed for a short duration. He also gains additional stacks of his passive, increasing his HP regeneration and shield absorption. This ultimate makes Uranus extremely durable and allows him to charge into fights without the fear of dying. A typical skill combo for Uranus is the first start of his second skill to engage enemies, then immediately activate his ultimate to increase his sustain and movement speed. While in combat, continuously spam first skill to deal sustained damage and slow enemies. Use second skill again to reposition or escape when necessary. Moving on to builds, I usually build Warrior Boots, Dominance Eyes, Enchanted Talisman, Oracle, Brute Force Chestplate, and finally, Radiant Armor. These are the emblems that go along with this build. As for battle spells, I recommend Flicker, Vengeance, or Execute. Flicker helps Uranus be repositioned in fights or escape dangerous situations. Vengeance reduces incoming damage and reflects it back, making Uranus even harder to kill, and Execute can be used to finish off low HP enemies. Uranus excels against tanky heroes with low burst damage, such as Tigreal and Franco, as they struggle to deal enough damage to counter his regeneration. He also dominates when opponents fail to build anti-healing items, making him nearly unkillable in extended fights. Additionally, he's particularly effective against immobile marksmen like Hanabi and Beatrix, who lack escape skills and can be easily chased down. However, Uranus is vulnerable to heroes who can reduce his healing with items like Sea Halberd or Dominance Eyes. High burst damage heroes such as Gushan and Aldous pose a significant threat by eliminating him before he can regenerate. Bashia is a direct counter due to his passive ability, which reduces healing, significantly weakening out Uranus' sustain. Ranged heroes like Layla and Leslie can also keep their distance and kite him, gradually wearing him down without allowing him to regenerate effectively. You should upgrade first skill first for better damage and slow, upgrade second skill as a backup, and most importantly, upgrade the ultimate whenever available. Uranus thrives in extended fights where he can continuously generate HP, making him an excellent frontliner. Always look for opportunities to absorb damage and charge up his passive before engaging. Use second skill to initiate fights and gain a shield before taking heavy damage. First skill should be used consistently to deal sustained damage and slow enemies, making it easier to chase or escape. When enemies focus on Uranus, activate ultimate to increase movement speed and regeneration, allowing him to stay active while enemies waste their abilities. Be mindful of healing reduction effects as they can greatly reduce his effectiveness. In team fights, distract enemies and absorb damage while your team deals damage from the backline.